Hello, everyone. We are here today to uh, present about a paper we read, which is called Exploring Language Skills and Teaching in Relation to the Teaching and Learning of English as a Second Language. So, my name is Alejandra Ortiz, and this is my classmate.
Hello, my name is Yanira Fernandez, and I'm going to talk about the purposes and methodology that was found within the research that is called Exploring Language Skills and Teaching in Relation to the Teaching and Learning of English as a Second Language. Okay, the truth is that the name is easily explained by itself. It is very easy to deduce what will be the purpose of the project due to the name that it has. And the objective of this project, in words that appear in the paper, is to try to see the connection between language skills and language teaching in relation to the teaching and learning of English as a second language. First of all, it is necessary to mention that the four language skills are speaking, listening, reading, and writing. And these are useful for any kind of tongue. For example, first language, second language, foreign language, mother tongue, etc. These four skills are always present in a language. And it is also important to mention that this applies not only to English, and that means that no matter which language it is, these four skills will be always present. And if I speak French, Italian, Spanish, these skills will be like part of my knowledge. If I speak Spanish, for example, I'm able to speak, to write, to read, and to listen in Spanish. On the other hand, the concepts related to language learning and teaching are grammar, phonology, error analysis, contrastive analysis, and close procedure. These concepts will be explained in the next stage since they are important for the theoretical framework. So, all previously mentioned means that the purpose of this investigation is to study how these four skills are directly related to the learning and teaching of English, only English, as a second language. It is also necessary to mention that the second language is that language that is acquired after learning the first one. The second language is the non native language that a person learns and acquires. And there are many concepts that are related to this. Although the difference with the other concepts is that a second language or L2 has a social or institutional function. An example of this will be the one of an immigrant person when he or she arrives a country in where people speak a different language from the one spoken in his or her native language. This person is acquiring a second language. And among the purposes of the research, we also have the purpose of investigating the role that the concepts previously mentioned play in the learning and teaching of English as a second language. The role of phonetics and grammar in learning and teaching English, and also how these concepts are related to language skills. And the research methodology was carried out through the compilation of different readings of authors who explained about the acquisition of a second language.
The theoretical framework. So, for us to understand this research problem solution, we need to have clarified some terms, theories, and concepts that are really important for the matter. So, Williams speaks about the concept of realism, where he indicates that to reach a teaching learning result, taking into cognizance the learning environment as the resources and the teaching's and the student's background is necessary. Abbott and Wingard believe that there are essential factors to examine for language teaching, such as the class, the school, the learner, and the language. Each of these factors survey will help to begin the introduction of language skills for the learner. This can be with the next questions. Asikiwe says that it's a necessity for the learner to have these basic skills in language as a background, while Vergés says that both learner and teacher need the four skills: speaking, listening, reading, and writing for intent and effective communication. This applies to both mother tongue and second language. Vergés also speaks of the importance of English in communication, as it is regarded as a world language, facilitating the communication of people from different cultures.
The first component we have is grammar. Dr. Sweet defined grammar as the science of language and the practical analysis of language anatomy. Grammar helps us to create meaningful sentences in the correct manner. This includes syntax, which can be described in simple words as what help us to give the correct order to the words in a sentence due to its structure. Then we have phonology. Phonology is related to pronunciation, where it is attempt to imitate the sound of consonant, vowel, or syllables as a native speaker. Phonology is divided into segmental, which is responsible of studying the sound of vowel and consonant, and non-segmental, which is related to intonation, stress, rhythm, and syllables. On the other hand, we have the possible challenges that may appear, such as error analysis, which can be defined as the techniques a teacher uses to identify and correct errors made by their second language learner. Contrastive analysis, which is the examination and comparison between the target language and the native language to identify their differences and similarities. Close procedure is a type of exercise that is associated with reading comprehension. It is frequently used in second language learning, and it consists on filling in the sentence with the missing word.
So the results and conclusion of the paper. We conclude that the teaching and learning of a second language is not as simple as it can be thought. There are multiple components that have to be considered when you attempt to teach another language, such as the four inherent skills, which are listening, reading, writing, and speaking. Yes, the first one being about some system of the language, the second one about decoding and interpretation of symbols, the third one graphically communication, and the fourth one production of sounds. Inside of these skills, we find components that are used to accomplish the correct development of the skills, as are the grammar and phonetics. Other factor to consider is the necessity to prevent mistakes using error analysis, contrastive analysis, and close procedure. We have to have in mind that errors are most likely to appear as we are humans and we mostly make mistakes when trying to do things, but we always fix them and try to approach it in the best way possible. So the teacher needs to know the difference of it all to create strategies to overcome them. So it is approachable if you have all the information as the skills and the information about the learning and the context of the learner, as it is the resources, the motivation, and all that kind of factors that can be motivating and affecting the lesson approach and result. So the right combination and approach of these components showed before can be used to realize an effective learning and teaching result of second language. Multiple strategies can be used to achieve an objective, as we said before. It is very important to have these in count and use them and modify them in the best ways you could think as effective to reach the knowledge needed. So this paper helps us to understand a little bit more of how can we create a perfect and great class, and how can we plan and organize the lesson. So this is really helpful for the teacher to achieve a goal, and it also will help the learner, obviously, and the learner will be grateful to have more ways to learn that he can really approach, as it is it is created according to them, to the learner, so it is more helpful for them. So yes, this is a great paper, so thank you very much for your attention, and we hope you liked the research as we did. Goodbye.